Here we go again. Hello, hello, 500 Duplex. Hello. Those younger people don't know, we were here with William Lyon Mackenzie many years ago. The Toronto's first mayor. He was only about 5'1", but as you know, he took on the family compact and was quite an amazing person that really gave us democratic, responsible government. And here's where the battle really took place. Now they were routed, the bad guys really won, but he escaped to Buffalo. Anyways, it's a whole story. But at least this is a national historic site with the monument. That's a national monument from Monument Canada that's here. We're able to preserve that. And as you know, this building here was one of 3 buildings in the Commonwealth that have Edward VII's name on it. Eighth, sorry, yeah, 8th. So the sign of Edward, I think, is still there. There it is, over the Canada, over the window. ER. So that's only one of 3 buildings with his name on it in the whole Commonwealth. So that's why I just want to remind you that, because when people say, well, we fight so much, what do we really achieve? Well, this was an achievement here because, as you know, Canada Post sold this building in the middle of the night, didn't tell anybody. They sold, in fact, all their buildings across Toronto. And that's when we started that fight to preserve Postal Station K. And we were successful. We were successful. And that's why and we told them, okay, you can build, but build it behind, keep the station. And luckily, the developer in this case, Jack Winberg, was a man of principle. And he worked with the community, worked with Councillor Stintz and myself, and we were able to get him to commit to keeping Postal Station K at great cost. You know, the building had a very poor foundation, so they brought in an architectural preservation team, and you can see right now you can't even get a seat in that restaurant. It is so popular, and it's really a great, and the public square here, this is public property that we kept for meetings like this, okay? And the rebellion continues. I just wanted to say that the other thing, just to remind you, is that we were also successful in getting back the parking lot up the street. You know, it was sold in the middle of the night to a developer. None of you knew about it. Nobody knew about it. You know, when I was elected, I did some searching. I found out they didn't get the approval of City Council. They just did it in the back rooms, and we got that back. We got that back, and on the 28th, we're going to celebrate the beginning of the park there. We're going to have the Joni Mitchell unpaving celebration. And we have 3 great musical groups. One is a Joni Mitchell cover group, and we have food and tables. That's the 28th, a Saturday afternoon, and that again celebrates the area, celebrates preserving and keeping that open space, that public space there at Postal Station K, and the one at the Green Pea. So it can be done. So what we're trying to do here, we're basically trying to fight, as I said last time, we're trying to fight a system that has taken the public out of the process. Okay? What's happened is there's a new regime of planning rules from the province, which has just basically put aside the public and created this, the Supreme Court of Planning called the Ontario Land Tribunal. And they decide everything now. So this applicant at 500 here, he's the first time, Tom, I don't know if you remember this ever happening before, when there was ever the developer who didn't even bother going to a community meeting. This developer didn't even participate in the planning meeting that is prescribed by the provincial statute. He said, no, I don't want to participate. And he went directly to the Ontario Land Tribunal. And and as you know, what he's planning is, I call it the condo sandwich here. So he's going to sandwich that rental building with 2 other high-rises and demolish excellent townhomes on the property. Going to demolish the tennis courts. Going to demolish the green space. Going to take away the variety and the amenities in the basement. All that without listening to the public, and then the hell you've all been through with the noise, the drilling, the abuse of entering on the properties and knocking on your doors, blocking your balconies. And I think he, if I'm correct, he's also going for an above guideline rent increase. So he also wants to increase your rent as he's sandwiching you, taking all that away. And that's why in this effort we have, it's not only the residents, but people from the Stanley Knolls, the EPRA, the LPRO, all the communities come together to try and support you who reside there, who know that this is something that sooner or later will affect everybody if this continues. And as you know, the bottom line is, the most disgusting thing is when I hear these development trolls tell us, well, you people in Eglinton and Yonge and Eglinton are against housing. And I say, well, listen, have you ever walked around here? Have you ever seen the buildings? The 50 towers that have been built already, and the other 50 towers that are in process? So how can you tell us we are not in favor of housing, of intensification, of all this stuff? Because they obviously have never been here, and they're just trolls for the developers, okay? So don't take any of that guff from these trolls for the developers that keep on espousing this stuff, because Yonge and Eglinton has done more than their share of building, housing, construction than most provinces in Canada, right here in this immediate area. So I just wanted to ask if somebody from the Tenants Association or someone who resides in 500 Duplex, if they want to say a few words about how this has been such a nightmare for them living in there, because people have lived there for some 50 years, 30 years, and so they've been treated so shoddily by this developer. It's really unconscionable what he's done to people who have lived and paid their rent for years and years. So does somebody from 500 want to say a few words? Anybody from 500?
Good?
Oh, thank God you're okay. And how about the equipment?
For those of you who don't know, my name is Thompson Morrow, and I'm one of the co-presidents of the Tenants Association, along with Stu Scully. So I'm very pleased to see everyone turn up.
I can hear you.
You can hear me? Good.
Yeah.
That better?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm one of the co-presidents of the Tenants Association. I'm very happy to see this great turnout here. Yeah, as the councillor said, we've kind of lived through hell in the past few years, haven't we?
Yes.
For those of you on the west side, hopefully your balconies got opened up today. Good, good. That will be in our landlord and tenant tribunal application that's going to be going forward shortly.
commodity. That's our problem.
Yeah, our problem is we are a commodity, and unfortunately, our landlord looks at the bottom dollar. As the councillor said, I was in a meeting with Key Residential and their planning, and they said, "Oh, we'll have a community meeting. We'll have a tenants meeting," and they didn't even give us the respect we deserve to hold those meetings. So that speaks volume about the developer. So once again, I'm very pleased to see this turnout. If you are not a party to the Landlord and Tenant Tribunal application, send us an email by the 20th to get your information included in the application. And once again, thank you for coming out.
No, I won't. Okay, once is enough. Okay, maybe Tom, do you want to say a few words? Tom has been in a few of these battles. Tom Cohen and Park Ratepayers Association. Tom?
EPRA is Residents Association, north of Exeter, this side of the park, this side of Yellow. Okay, you can hear me. And we joined this fight, We have been in front of the OLT, we've been there, we've won, we've been there, we've tied, we've been there, we've lost. And we kind of know how to do it. And we will drive in it with the coalition and get as many allies as we can and figure out how best to fight this thing. And we come into it knowing that the building is not only nasty, but it's also stupid. It's stupid because it is a high-rise which has too big a foot for a high-rise, and it pretends to be a mid-rise, and it doesn't do what a mid-rise should do. So it's a neither nor, and we can make very good arguments in front of a court. And I think one thing that really matters getting a rally like this going is the developer will know. He'll know the pushback is really strong. He'll know that he has a lot of opposition. And that might influence just how he decides to play this. So we'll play it really tough, with all the backing we can get, and very much appreciate having everybody here working together with our association, with LPRO, with Stanley Knowles. We're a strong coalition, and we will prevail.
Thank you, Tom. Take your sign back. Is someone from the Stanley Knowles and King, or yes, come on up. Stanley Knowles is a wonderful affordable housing co-op building right next to the library, and they're a great group of fighters in there. And go ahead.
I'm here with my peeps. I'm sort of doing double duty here because I used to live in 500 Duplex, and I lived in apartment 501, which is surely to be walled up one side of its entity. I want to point out to people that the developer wouldn't be able to get away with this if it weren't for Ford's forays into urban planning, which have been total disrespect for the planning process, total disrespect for communities. There's an election coming up. Well, I don't know what your experience with Robin Martin has been. I have yet to receive the courtesy of a reply to any of my questions. So please support your local candidate who's not a conservative. Many of us, I'll be honest, I'm supporting Arlena Ebert, and she has a debate tonight, and Robin Martin will be there, and it's being broadcast by B'nai B'rith. So if you look up on the website, you'll probably be able to log in. But that's the most important thing. We're not going to be safe from this until we get rid of that Ford government.
Thanks, Ann. Okay, and LPRO, that's the Lytton Park Rapers Association, which is further north by the gates there. Anybody from Lytton Park, Tom, or anybody want to say anything on behalf of the Lytton Park group, which is also very supportive of Tom Worrell from the Lytton Parks. And Tom is really trying to do amazing things to revitalize the Uptown Young area. You know, we're trying to get it animated, we're trying to get people to walk, cycle more on Young Street and bring it back to life. So Tom's doing all kinds of great work. And murals. If you go up and down Young, they're putting up beautiful murals. Tom Morrill.
Thank you very much, Mike. I wasn't expecting to come up here, but yes, LPRO are very active in the development world. We probably have about 10 ongoing developments that we're actively engaged in right now, and we actually have some successes. It's not easy, it's a long process, and sometimes the successes are small, but they're worth it because it keeps the next development from getting even larger. So we're doing that, and we will be involved with a 500 duplex, absolutely. And as Mike said, we want to make this street more attractive for people. We want to make it safer, and it's for the whole area. And development's part and parcel to it, but the streetscape and these crazy cars that are not obeying traffic are a big issue. So we're very involved with that, and beautification of the street, which all ties into it all together. So that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, Tom. Yes, and we also want to remind you that, yes, there is a provincial election, and you know, if any candidates or anybody phones you, just tell them how much you care about your community, and that you don't want to be basically living in a community of concrete boxes in the sky. That's what's happening, and see, and that's why 500 duplex is such a touchstone.
It's only the people he knows.
Because not only are they going to build those two towers on each side of the tower, they're taking away the green space and the public amenities. And what there is a real shortage of in this area is open public park space. So they're taking that away, on top of, again, taking people's windows away, taking people's lights away. So that's why the fight for 500 duplex is really a turning point, I think, whereby we can say we've had enough. You know, we don't mind density, we don't mind building, but it can't be stupid, absurd, obnoxious, whatever it is, ludicrous proposals like this one at 500 duplex, which makes no planning sense, no human sense, no rational, you know, what, Tom? It makes no sense. And anyways, so that's why duplex really stands for a lot of things, and that's why we need to get behind the tenants who are trying to protect their home and not being driven out. And again, and then they're getting rid of affordable rental housing. All those townhouses there are great places to live. They're bulldozing those to basically put up one of those, another, is suspected to be a condo tower. Okay, so those are some of the main things. Now we're going to continue these every couple of weeks. We keep building and building and building the awareness. And as Tom said, we've got to let the developer know that he just can't expect to get a free ride with Ford's appointed friends at the tribunal. You know, we're going to fight him publicly. We're going to fight the proposal publicly. And the city's lawyers will be going to the tribunal. The city's planners will be fighting it. And you know, and you can be parties to it too. So the fight has just begun. And that's why being here today is an important signal to other developers too who want to do the same type of thing in this area, which they're doing on both sides.
Yeah. And
they will no doubt try again. So anyways, I don't want to spend much more of your time. I think what we can do is let's take a group picture. And I think a good one would be if we've got 500 in behind with William Lyon Mackenzie behind us. So if everybody faces Yonge Street with the signs out this way, and we like taking these group historical pictures.